Welcome to lesson 1 of our Arabic grammar learning, and today we are going to start with the part of speech in Arabic. And why is that? Our goal is to understand Quranic expressions, Quranic words, to be able to read the Quran and understand it. And how do we read the words to understand? The way to read the words is for us to have an understanding of the structure of the sentences. And to understand the structure of the Arabic sentences, we need to understand the words, the parts of speech that makes up the sentence. So today we are going to start with this part of speech. I want to believe that we already know all the alphabets in Arabic, and we know the three vowels, which are the fatha, kasra, and dhamma, and they can come in tanween as well, two dhammas, two fatha, two kasras. So by having that background knowledge, so we are going to start with the parts of speech in Arabic. And what are the parts of speech in Arabic? They are nouns, verbs, and particles. Nouns, we have noun which we call ism. The ism. We have the verbs which we call the fi'al. And we have the particles, that's harf. The plural is huruf. Hurufan. So in English language, we know that there are 8 parts of speech. And these 3 parts of speech, we can classify them into the different 8 parts of speech. This noun includes noun itself, pronoun, which we call the damir. We have the adjective, which we call the nat. And we have the adverb, which we call the zarf. That's the category of noun in Arabic. Because they behave, all these parts of speech, they behave the same. That's why they are categorized as noun. We have verb as verb, and we have particles as, we have prepositions, we call it harf jar, particles of pulling down. We have the preposition. We have conjunction, particle of atfin. That's harf for atfin, the particles of linking. For example, wow and all of that. We have conjunction. And particles also includes other words that are not noun, that are not verb. So other words that are not noun or verbs are what we call particles. And these are the 3 words, 3 parts of speech that you will find in Arabic sentences. So we are going to take it one after the other. In this lesson, we are going to talk about noun. Let's clean up this whole space because we do not have enough space. We do not have enough board space. So we are going to manage what we have. So we are dealing with noun, ism. We are going to learn the important characteristics of noun. And we are going to look at the nominal sentence. Because we are talking about noun, so we need to know the important characteristics of noun, because when you see a noun, how will you be able to differentiate it from verb in Arabic? How will you be able to differentiate it from particles in Arabic? So we are going to look at the important characteristics of noun, and we look at the reason why I want us to look at this is to see how a noun is used in a sentence. And what's the first characteristics? A, they are either definite or indefinite. How do we know a definite noun? How do we know an indefinite noun? In English language, when you are talking about an indefinite noun, you say a house, or you can say an apple. A or an here, there was the indefinite article. They are the indefinite article in the English language. Now in Arabic, how do we say a noun is indefinite? Indefinite noun in Arabic comes with tenwin. Comes with what we call tenwin. Tenwin are double vowel signs. When you have a dhamma, when you have two dhammas, that's the tenwin. When you have fatha, when you have fatha, two fatha, that's the tenwin of fatha. When you have kasra, when you have two kasra, that's the tenwin of kasra. So in Arabic language, when you say a noun is indefinite, that means the noun ends with tenwin. So let's look at a noun. You know, how do you define a noun? A noun, a name of any person, animal, place, or things. We have a book, right? We have a pen. These are indefinite now with these indefinite articles. Now, to say this in Arabic, we are going to have a tenwin at the end of the noun word. So if you have, what is house in Arabic, we should know that is baitun. So we say baitun. So this is bay. So the ending, the letter that ends the noun is going to take tenwin. So we say a house here is baitun. A book here is kitab. Kitabun. Bun. Tenwin. We want to say a pen. A pen here is qalaman or lamun. Tenwin, tenwin, tenwin. If it were fatha, it's going to be baitan. If it were fatha 2 here, it's going to be kitaban. It's going to be doubled as well. If it is fatha 2 here, it's going to be double. If it is indefinite, it's going to be qalaman. Now, this noun, I want you to know that this noun are what we refer to as the common nouns. They have common nouns because they had name given to things in general. They are different from specific names that are given to particular things. Okay, let me give an example. If I use car, a car here, sayaratan. If I say a car, it's going to be sayaratan, a car. But if I say Toyota, Toyota has become a what? A proper noun. It's no longer a common noun because it's a specific name given to a particular brand of car. So here, look at this. These are what we call the common nouns. Woman, man, boy, girl. Now, if I say Muhammad, Muhammad is a specific name of a boy. So Muhammad there is a definite noun. So we are going to look at two forms because we have talked about the indefinite. These are indefinite. For definite noun, we can have it in two ways. One is that all proper nouns are definite, specific name of things, of persons. If I say Toyota, Toyota is a specific name of a car. Car is a common noun. Toyota is a specific, so Toyota is a what? Is a proper noun. Muhammad. Muhammad is a specific name of a man or a boy, as the case may be. So Muhammad is a proper noun. So proper noun, if I say Zainab, Zainab is a proper noun. In Arabic, all proper nouns are definite. So if I say Muhammadun, Muhammadun is definite. You can see it's having tenwin at the end. So you might want to ask, but you said nouns that ends with tenwin are indefinite. The meaning of definite is to make that noun specific. So this name is specific to a particular person, so it is definite by nature. Zainabu has one dhamma. It is definite by nature. So what we are saying in essence is that all proper nouns are definite. Whether they end with tenwin or single vowel sign, they are definite by nature. So that's the first form of a definite noun. Another definite noun, these are proper nouns. But we can also make the common nouns definite. How do we make the common nouns definite? We have a house, right? That's baitun. Baitun. So when we want to make this baitun, sorry, this is the indefinite form. If we want to make this definite, it's going to have a definite article. In English, the definite article is the. So if you want to make this a house to become the house, we are going to add a definite article at the beginning of the word. So a definite article is going to precede it. So a definite article, alif lam, is a definite article. If we add it to this baitu, it's going to take away one dhamma from here. It's going to take one vowel away from here. So when you are going to have al baitu, it's going to be al baitu. It's never going to be al baitun, because I said earlier that nouns are either definite or indefinite. So it would be wrong to say al baitun. But when this is gone, so you have made it what? Definite. So tenwin and alif lam cannot coexist. So that's the essence. So you cannot have a definite article to a noun and still have it in form of indefinite. It's not correct. So it can only be al baitun. So other ones, al kitabun. So we have kitabu. Bun, when you add it together, it's going to give you al kitabu. Al qalam, the same thing. One thing when we go here, alif lam plus qalam is going to give you al qalam. So that is one of the characteristics of a noun. It is either definite or indefinite. So when you see it with double with tenwin, it is indefinite. And when you see it with alif lam, you are referring to a specific something, a specific noun. So it's going to have one vowel at the end, and that will make it definite. Number 2, so we are still on the characteristic. Number 2 is that all Arabic nouns are singular. In English we have singular and plural. In Arabic you have singular, dual, and plural. What's the singular? One person, one idea, one thing, one place. Dual, two persons, two things, two animals, two places, two ideas. Plural, more than two. Then another characteristic we are going to talk about noun is that noun, we have talked about two. Arabic nouns, so third one, Arabic nouns are either masculine or feminine. Arabic nouns are either muzakkar or muhannas, masculine or feminine. And the fourth one is that Arabic nouns decline. Arabic nouns decline. In their natural forms, Arabic nouns ends with dhamma, but when they start performing different functions in a sentence, the endings is going to decline. We call it the declination of noun. So the ending changes from dhamma to fatha to kasra. There are some nouns that doesn't decline in that 3 forms, that decline only in 2 forms. We call them diptotes. One of it is feminine names, like Zainab. You can have Zainaba. That's when it's functioning. We'll get to know the functions. We can have Zainaba, but we cannot have Zainabi. So when it's function in the genitive case, which is supposed to take kesro, it's still going to take fatha. So we call these types of noun diptotes. There are some nouns in that category, like name of countries, and we are going to talk about that as we move on. So these are the characteristics of noun. The first thing is that They have a definite and indefinite form. They have singular, dual, and plural forms. They have a masculine or feminine forms, and they decline in their case ending. Their ending changes from dhamma to fatha or to kesra, depending on the function they perform in a sentence. Having said that, let's look at the second thing we want to learn today, which is sentence al-jumla. This is noun al-jumla. That's sentences. Sentence. Arabic sentence. Arabic sentences are of two forms. We have the nominal sentence, which we call jumlat al-ismiya. We have the nominal sentence, and we have the verbal sentence, which we call al-jumlat al-fi'liya. But today we are going to be looking at the nominal sentence because we are still talking about noun. So we'll get to verb. When we get to verb, we'll talk more about verbal sentence. Let's wipe this off and let's start with nominal sentence. What is a sentence? A sentence is a group of words that makes complete meaning. In a sentence, we have what we call the subject and the predicate. Now, in Arabic, the subject is called mubtada. Mubtada. And the predicate is called khabar. So let me give an example of a sentence. Let's say we say the house is new. The house is new. Now, what is the subject of it? What do we mean by the subject of a sentence? The subject of a sentence is that person, animal, place, or thing that is being talked about in the sentence. Let me take that again. The subject is the noun that the sentence is about. So in this sentence we have here, what are we talking about? The house. The house is what is being talked about in this. So the house here is the subject. Now, what do we understand by the predicate? The predicate is that thing that is being said about the subject. The predicate tells us what is happening to the subject or what the subject is doing in that sentence. So it tells us, it gives us the news, the information about the subject. That's the role of the predicate. So in this sentence, we have the house, which is the subject. So what are we saying about the house? What is the information that is given about the house? The information given about the house is that the house is new. So new here is the predicate. Now, in Arabic, how do you know the subject and how do you know the predicate? In every nominal sentence where you have the subject and the predicate. Let me make something clear. In a nominal sentence, the sentence begins with a noun. A nominal sentence begins with a noun, while verbal sentence begins with verb. And most of the time, the noun here that it begins with is the subject, while the news about the subject is the predicate. First thing, I can clean this off, right? So we are talking about how do we recognize the subject of a sentence, or the subject of a sentence in Arabic sentence. First thing you must note is that the subject always ends with dhamma, and there's a name for it. The subject always ends with dhamma. And when a noun ends with dhamma, we say the noun is in nominative case, and the Arabic term for that is marfu'un. In an example that I gave earlier, the house is new. What's the house? Note the house. So we are going to write the house in a what? In a definite form. The house is the subject, so it's going to be al-baytu. It's ending with damma. So we have clarified this, al-baytu. Second thing you must note is that, what is the second? The subject is most of the time definite. There could be other times that it is indefinite. Then we get to that. So look at this. It is definite. It's having the definite article alif lam, and it's ending with the so it is marfu', and it is most of the time definite. So the two things for you to recognize the subject in a sentence is that it will always ends with dhamma, and it will be most of the time. There are some times when it will be indefinite. It will be most of the time definite, and also most of the times it begins the sentence. So in cases where it doesn't begin the sentence, you see it as an indefinite form. Just like you say, in the house there is a book. So you know a book there is going to be indefinite. And so you are beginning the sentence with the predicates, not with the subject. So when you say fil baiti kitabun, that means in the house there is a book. So in that case it will be indefinite, but we'll get to that. Now we have talked about the subject. Now to the predicates. The predicates can come in 5 forms, and if we are going to look at one form today. So the first form we are going to look at today is that the predicate is a single noun predicate. In an example, we said the house is new. Let me write it back so that for reference sake, the house is new. We have said the subject and we have written the subject. Is new. This is like a linking word. It doesn't have an Arabic term in Arabic language. So this is the predicate in Arabic language. Now here I said the predicate. Sorry, here I'm supposed to write the predicate. I missed the word predicate here. The predicate is a single noun predicate. When you have the predicate, so this is the first form of predicate that we are going to look at today, and that's the only one we are going to look at today. Other 4 forms will be looked at in the subsequent lessons. So when we say single noun predicate, this is a single noun predicate, and this single noun predicate could be a noun. So I usually call it single word. So we have single word predicate. It could be a noun or an adjective. Remember I said noun, adjective, adverbs, pronouns are under noun, are classified as noun. So this single word predicate can be noun or can be adjective. So when it is this single word, how do we recognize it in a sentence? So how do we recognize predicate in a sentence when it is a single word predicate? So the predicate, if it's a single word predicate, will always be in the nominative case. It's going to end with dhamma. And also, it will most of the time be indefinite. Be indefinite means that it's going to have tenwin at the end. So if it's ending with dhamma, since it's ending with dhamma, it's going to be tenwin dhamma. So in our example, we have the house is new. We already know the subject al-baytu. So let's complete the sentence. Al-baytu jadidun. Jadidun means new. The house. So you can see this is what ending with dhamma, and what kind of dhamma? Tenwin. So it is marfu'un and it is indefinite. The subject is what? Let me write this by here very well. This subject is what? Marfu'un but definite. So we have marfu'un in nominative case. So this is nominative case. Indefinite. Right? And this is also nominative case. But definite. So what makes a noun marfu'un, what makes it in nominative case is that it ends with dhamma. And what makes it definite or indefinite is that it has tanween or it has alif lam. That will be the focus of our lesson for today. But before you go, I'm going to give you a task. Look for the Arabic name of these words, then construct your Arabic sentences just like I have done, and please submit in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.